This is the Biafra national anthem.
Seven rows, 14 rows, 21 rows. I love to go. One, beat.
I want to thank my colleague and fellow Florida representative, Representative Mauro Diaz-Balart, for leading this important and timely bill to sanction the Muslim Brotherhood and restrict its ability to operate within the United States of America. For years, our partners across the Middle East have been warning of the threat of this organization and what it poses. Initially established in Egypt in the late 1920s, it's grown into a transnational organization with chapters around the world. This is more than just a political organization. It promotes extreme and destabilizing views which continue to inspire acts of terrorism across the globe, including most notably Hamas and its horrific October 7, 2023 attack on Israel, in which 1,200 civilians were killed, over 1,200. And as the Trump administration noted in its recent executive order, these links were further underscored after October 7, 2023, when the Lebanese chapter of the Muslim Brotherhood worked hand in glove with Hamas, Hezbollah, and other Palestinian terrorists to launch direct attacks against Israel, furthering its October 7 aim. More recently, a Muslim Brotherhood affiliate in Jordan was implicated in a plot to destabilize this critical regional security partner. The plot, according to Jordanian government officials, similarly involved members of the Muslim Brotherhood's Lebanon chapter who were reportedly manufacturing weapons and training militants to target sites in Jordan, which, if successful, would have been a substantial blow to the Jordanian people and a major counterterrorist risk. For too long, the threat the Muslim Brotherhood poses to U.S. national security has been downplayed here in the United States, and it's well past time for course correction. I urge my colleagues to robustly support this bill and finally put in place much-needed measures to address this very real and increasingly prevalent threat.
I resume my function as President of the Council. I now give the floor to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for chairing this important meeting. Thank you to our briefers, Secretary General Guterres, and ECOWAS Commission President Dr. Touré. Colleagues, as we speak, Al-Qaeda-affiliated terrorists in the Sahel have paralyzed Mali with a fuel blockade. Colleagues, the situation is dire there. We see Al-Qaeda aiming to take over the entire country. The United States acknowledges the counterterrorism efforts of the Malian armed forces against these and other terrorist organizations such as ISIS, Sahel, but the situation is worsening quickly. We remained deeply concerned about the incidents of kidnapping, the incidents of hostage-taking across the Sahel as a means to finance these terrorist activities. Unfortunately, since the veto of the UN sanctions regime in 2023, it has been deeply disappointing to see Mali's security situation continue to deteriorate. That decision removed critical tools from the international community that it relied on to promote accountability and to promote stability. And the result has been an uptick, a massive surge in violence, has been a shrinking space for dialogue and growing risk for civilians across the country and across the region. The terrorist threats are not only intensifying, they are spreading, they are shifting southward, as evidenced by the terrorist attacks we've seen in Benin and Togo. But particularly, the United States is concerned and outraged by the ongoing slaughter of thousands of Christians in Nigeria by various ethnic militias in the Middle Belt, as well as terrorists like Boko Haram and ISIS West Africa in the north. It is tragic and it is unacceptable. Churches are burning, villages are being razed, thousands are killed, clergy murdered simply for wearing a cross, for being a Christian, for daring to say they worship Jesus as Christ. Just yesterday, 25 little girls were kidnapped from their school and one school official murdered trying to protect them from MAGA Comprehensive Girls Secondary School in Kebbi State. Colleagues, this is happening. It's undeniable, and it's unacceptable. The United States condemns these attacks in the strongest terms, and it demands accountability. And as President Trump has made clear, we will not stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria. The government of Nigeria must take immediate steps and do more to increase security, respond to early warnings, end impunity, and address the drivers of violence. And colleagues, we need to see African leadership on these matters, and we need to see a coordinated response among all countries in the region. The situation is critical. The United States will continue to work with regional partners to counter these common threats. Thank you, Mr. President.
If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. If they don't, there's going to be hell to pay.
It's unfortunate that President Trump has been misinformed. This false narrative that there's some persecution or a genocide.
Why isn't it a genocide against Christians in Nigeria?
We don't want to be the next Sudan.
You dispute the numbers that have been reported to have been killed, but you have no idea how many Christians have been killed.
We are not hiding any facts.
Right now, you have an Islamist government in Nigeria. There is a reason that we're seeing these Islamic militants going around and yelling Allahu Akbar. That's not by coincidence.
It's easy for her to sit thousands of miles away and play games with people's lives.
I perform several burials because the Islamic are controlling the government. Let me tell you, there's a genocide in Nigeria.
And we observe a minute silence to the fallen heroes of Biafra, and the time starts now. We mourn our heroes past, we celebrate them, and our heroes living. As we continue to fight on, we celebrate all of them. We fight on to see that Biafra is fully restored. You say, you say, you say, you say, you say. Yes, greetings to all Biafrans and greetings to lovers of freedom. Merry Christmas to everybody. And as we marry, you have to watch your surrounding and you have to be very, very vigilant. I salute our leaders that have lived before us, who have fought for Biafra before us. And I salute those that are in prison today that are still fighting. I salute our BDF. I salute Biafrans in the homeland. I salute every Biafran all over the world who are doing everything possible to see that Biafra is restored. Those that are supporting financially, God bless you. And may the God of Biafra increase your strength bountifully in this end of the year and new year that we forge ahead. Our APM of the BRGIA and the entire BRGIA, I salute all of you for your good works. Yes, you see, the sanctions that BRGIA called on the US government to place on Nigeria is working. So that means there is power in political lobbying. There is power in political, diplomatic, and international lobbying. These are the facts some people need to understand, since they have been dumb and silly. Today, you can see that Sunday Jackson, that was to be killed by Nigerian government, have been freed. Nigerian government placed a law that they had to kill Sunday Jackson because Sunday Jackson is a Christian who had to fight for his life when the Boko Haram terrorists came to kill him. They killed his family, killed everyone that he had with, and then he had to fight back with his last strength. He fought and he defeated the terrorists and killed the terrorists. So because he fought and defeated the terrorists and killed the terrorists, Nigerian government said they have to kill Sunday Jackson. They have to lock Sunday Jackson up, and they gave him death sentence to be hanged to death. This is the Nigeria that all of you uphold. This is the Nigeria that all of you project. But after US pressure, government Fintiri grants clemency to Sunday Jackson. How did it happen? It is the pressure that you put on Nigeria in the international community. It is the credibility damage that you have given to one Nigeria on the international stage. It is the international pressure on their security formations that you have put on them. It is the US foreign policy apparatus that you have weaponized and activated against Nigeria. All these and many more. The political, the diplomatic and international isolation that you have brought up against Nigeria. This is what has made Nigeria to be on the spotlight. This is what has made Nigeria to be seen as a volatile state. This is what has made Nigeria to be known as sponsors of terrorists. All their political parties are sponsors of terrorists. They are terrorist organizations because they organize the crime. They organize the terrorists from the Sahel. They bring them, they group them, and then they carry them in to come and slaughter babies, women, and children in their sleeps. And Sunday Jackson was a victim of this very terrorist act, who fought for his life after the same terrorists that invaded their community had killed their family. Because he is a Christian, he resisted with the last strength that he had and used whatever weapon that he saw around him to kill the terrorists. Nigerian government now say they have to kill Sunday Jackson. This is the kind of barbaric constitution that you all have in Nigeria, because they have allowed Sharia law into the constitution. So at this point, they had to allow Sharia law to prevail for them to adjudicate against Sunday Jackson that he must be killed because of defending himself. What has turned the tides of event? What has made the difference? What has dragged Faunyash out to the open is the political, diplomatic, and international lobbying of BRJ. What they have been doing in Washington, D.C. The sanctions that we called on the U.S. government to place on Nigeria is what have brought Nigeria Nyash open in the public. And now, everybody now knows all the atrocities of Nigeria. If you did not all, as Biafrans, gather in Washington, D.C. on the 18th of September to give live testimony against Nigeria, for the world to know what Nigeria is all about, because you all came out from that contraption. So, you coming out from there, coming to give a live testimony, it counts so much because you are speaking out of frustration. You are speaking because your babies, your women and children have been victims of the circumstance of one Nigeria. One Nigeria has happened to them. One Nigeria has happened to them. If one Nigeria did not happen to us, we wouldn't have known the disparity of being a Christian and being a Muslim in Nigeria. We wouldn't have known the disparity of being a Christian and being a jihadist terrorist in Nigeria. So, it is very clear. If you do not understand the power of lobbying, it is time you check. Check it very well. Because Sunday Jackson is one that have been rescued. You see, the U.S. congressional briefing on Biafra was a hope, an open door to the Christians that have been massacred. That is why if you go to our website, there is an article that was written which says U.S. congressional briefing. Nigerian Christians now have hope. Yes, Nigerian Christians now have hope. Nigerian Christians now have hope, because without this congressional briefing, people wouldn't have had hope. Those that have been slaughtered and massacred, the thing would have continued. But now, people now have hope. Sunday Jackson now have hope. The U.S. congressional briefing held by BRGIE on Biafra was a hope rekindled, assurance for Christians. Christians now have hope after many years of Islamic jihad. Who would have heard of the story of Sunday Jackson and then push it down to the American Congress? How many Christians have been beheaded like Sunday Jackson by one Nigerian government and their constitution? How many? How many? How many Christians have been beheaded and hanged like Sunday Jackson without anybody knowing? They are numerous. But today, Christians now have hope after many years of Islamic Jihad on them, due to the BRGI's U.S. congressional briefing on Biafra. And I say a very big thank you to our APM and all the Biafrans that led the delegation to the U.S. Congress on the 18th of September to stand and give a live testimony for Biafra and against Nigeria. This has given hope to Christians in Nigeria. This has saved the life of Samuel Jackson now, or Sunday Jackson now, that was to be slaughtered by Nigerian government. How can Nigerian government defend the fact that they are to slaughter Sunday Jackson for defending himself against a terrorist who came to kill him and kill his family? But Nigerian constitution, Nigerian court adjudicated that Sunday Jackson is to be killed, is to be hanged to death. Why? Because he defended himself against a terrorist that came to kill him. So meaning that Nigerian constitution have given a validation to all the terrorists that exist in Nigeria, that they can eliminate every Christian, and they will use Nigerian constitution to back them up. They will use Nigerian court to back them up because it is already enshrined in their constitution that Sharia has power to adjudicate against somebody. You see, this is why the US government said Nigerian government should remove Sharia from their constitution, because they are using it as a license to hunt and maim and kill and destroy every other people in Nigeria that do not imbibe in this their very act and ethics. Today, Sunday Jackson's freedom is a testament of the result of the outspokenness of Biafrans engaging the US government. It is a testament of the credibility damage that has befallen Nigeria in the US. It is a testament that all the US foreign policy apparatus against Nigeria has been weaponized against them, has been activated against Nigeria. It is a testament that the political, diplomatic, and international isolation of Nigeria is on the way. It is a testament that they are under international pressure. Yes, under international pressure, both from their military formation, their judiciary, their presidency, and whatever that they have, they are under international pressure. That is why they have to start undoing the evil that they do and put inside their constitution, because they are more than evil. I salute all Biafrans. And today's program, because of the time that I came live, I'm not going to be here for too long because it's late. So others can be able to watch it when they wake up. Now, I want to show all of you some of the chronologies of the genocide that has happened so far in the December. For you now to understand, when you were told that the terrorists are still coming for you this Christmas, you should understand that they have taken it to be a norm, a custom, a tradition by the terrorists, by this jihadist group, that every December they must eliminate over 200 of you, and you will still continue to wail, you still continue to cry, and then go back house doing nothing. Let us take you to memory lane. Let's start from here and see how far it goes. I want to start from here. Let's start from here and see where it takes us to. Okay, this is 2018 on the screen. For you to see that in 2018, genocide was on ground. And they did it December time. They did it also in April. And they did it in many other months. Which month or which location did this one happen? Catholic priests were killed by Fulani militias during morning mass in Mbalom village, Benue State. This is Benue. Benue. It went on to explain that parish priests, Father Joseph Gore and Father Felix Tilola, died in the attack by around 30 militia men on St. Ignatius Catholic Church in the St. Ignatius quasi-parish of Makurdi Diocese, that also claimed the lives of 17 parishioners and left an unknown number of people injured. Many villages fled into the bush as militiamen fired indiscriminately, burning down around 73 homes during food stores, destroying food stores. Did this happen? Yes, it happened. Mark the date, oh. This is 2018. I am going to another year now. I'm going to another year. I've showed you 2018, right? I'm going to another year. Now, the one you have on the screen now is 2023. 2023. Is what you have on the screen now. How many were said to have been massacred? Christmas massacre in Nigeria, death toll nears 200. Attacks continues. This is Nigeria. This is Nigeria. This is not Niger. This is not Benin Republic. This is not Burkina Faso. This is not Mali. This is Nigeria. 2023. Over 200 people massacred in Christmas Eve. I'm going to another one. But we want all of you to understand something. That till now, everywhere has been quiet. Nobody cared to look into it and see that it is a serious issue until BRGIE took it upon themselves to drag Nigeria to come open. Yes, I saw one of their former aides, a presidential worker who served inside the presidency of Nigeria, the one that endorsed the massacre of Christians by the terrorists. He even endorsed the massacre of Deborah. He called it blasphemy. He endorsed the pronouncement of the massacre of Sunday Jackson. And it's somebody that served inside the Nigerian presidency. People that are promoting Sharia and Jihad for you to be eliminated. He was confessing that BRGIE has lobbied so much in America, and that what they are facing today in Nigeria in the hands of America, that it is BRGIE that has put them in the one chance. I say, yes, your cry has not started yet. Yes, because by the time you acknowledge and understand that you don't have to use the same hand you use to capture a fly to try to capture caterpillar or try to capture bee, that is when you will understand that indigenous people of Biafra are quite different from every other people that you decide to massacre, and then they will stand and watch you massacre them, and then they will come and cry, carry their babies, go and bury. You come back, you massacre them. They come and carry their babies, go and bury. They cry. They cry. No! Biafran people are different. We remain provoked because we cannot stand to watch you come and massacre our own, and then we will come and be crying back to you. No, we have to do something. And that is what we've been doing. And that is why some of you are beginning to cry. The cry has not started. The death toll in Nigeria Christmas massacre has now risen to almost 200, and more bodies are still being discovered, according to partners of Release International, which supports persecuted Christians around the world. This was where? This was in Plateau. This happened in Plateau. This is 2023. Okay, I'm closing that one now. And I am going to another one. I want everybody to be counting how many I will end up mentioning at the end of the day. How many years in context will I be mentioning at the end of the day? Now, this one now is 2012. 2012. 12 die in Christmas attacks on churches in Nigeria. 6 people were killed and 2 injured when gunmen attacked a church service in Yobe State on Christmas morning. 6 others were murdered in assault on Christmas Eve service in Borno. According to local sources, gunmen suspected to be members of this Islamist extremist militia Boko Haram raided Firi village, situated around 2 kilometers north of Potiskum town. During the early hours of Christmas Day, they began by attacking the midnight service at the Church of Christ in Nations COCIN, where 6 people were killed, including the pastors. Can you understand that? Inside the church, that is where they went to go and carry out the attack. Early hours of Christmas Day, when all of you gather in the church to start to celebrate the Christmas service on Sunday, that is when they come and kill you. This is 2012. I want you to also mark and let me know how many the number is going. At the end of the day, you will tell us the total numbers. Let's go to another one. Because some people don't take it serious. They think that we are just making it up. This is 2011 again. Deadly Nigeria bomb attacks condemned by world leaders. There has been widespread condemnation in the international community of a series of Christmas Day bomb attacks in Nigeria that killed almost 40 people. The White House said the attacks were senseless violence, and the UK Foreign Secretary called them cowardly. Militant Islamist group Boko Haram said it carried out the attacks. A blast outside a church near the capital, Abuja, claimed 35 lives, while a policeman died in the city of Jos and 4 people were killed in Damaturu. Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan said the attacks were an unwarranted affront on our collective safety and freedom, adding Nigerians must stand as one to condemn them all. This is 2011, and this one was happening where? In Abuja and where? Adamawa. So, Makito, how many people were massacred there? That was still in a Christmas. I take that one off. Let me go to another one. Keep on counting and see whether you will be able to count all of them and finish. Yes, because the more you count, the more it becomes so daring. This is the same one that I just showed now that happened in Abuja. Okay? Still in that 2011. I take this one off now. Let me go to another one. I want you to see year by year, year by year, year by year. Now, this one now is 2014. This is 2014. Nigeria bombs. The first thing I saw was a woman with no head and no legs. Boko Haram suspected of attack in ethnical mix, northern city of Jos. As hunger grows over lackluster government response. You see, Nigerian government has never been responding or doing anything when the Boko Haram terrorists or these terrorist groups carry out this Christian genocide. They have always supported them and shy away from it because they brought them into Nigeria to carry out all these attacks. They know them. They created them. They use them for their political gain. So it is worthy of mention that far back as at 2014, when terrorists bomb and attack and kill many people, Nigerian government turned blind eye to it. They acted nothing to even say or give a reason or to even make it known that, oh, this is that or this is that. They shy away from it. You see, Gabriel Luce never heard the sound of explosion. All he knew was his brick, zinc roof electronic shop was suddenly pitch dark and silent. Then came a burst of searing pain and a high-pitched wailing from his 9-month pregnant wife. Uche's car was less than 10 meters from a car packed with explosives, which detonated in a teeming business district in the central Nigerian city of Jos on Tuesday afternoon. Miraculously, he survived the twin explosions, believed to be the work of Islamic insurgent Boko Haram, that left at least 123 people dead. 123. This was when? This was 2014. 2014. Did you see Nigerian government do anything about it? Did you see UK government do anything about it? No. Nobody did anything about it. They kill, they maim every Christmas, and the list continued. And everybody took it to be a normal thing. Now, this one now is 2024. The one you see on the screen now is 2024. The one I just finished showed before was 2014. And this one now is 2024. Nigeria Christians killed in Christmas Eve attacks in remote villages. 2024. This happened in the eve of 2023, and then they gave the report in January 2024. How many died? Over 200. Over 200. Over 200. Did you hear the news making the rounds anywhere? No. Did Nigerian government do anything about it? No. I take it down. I'm going to another one. I just want people to understand something here. That the bloody massacre of Christians on Christmas Eve has been on. Nobody did anything about it. Nobody. Here now, New York Post reported, this is 2020. This is year 2020 again. Nigerian Christians fear a bloody holiday season at the hands of Muslim terrorists. This was when? In 2020 report. 2020 report, because it has happened in 2019. It has happened in 2018. This is 2018 photo that they show here. They say, Christians face brutal violence in Nigeria at the hands of Muslim Fulani terrorists. At least when 17 worshippers and 2 priests were slain in a 2018 attack. What was the crime? No crime. But they were just coming to eliminate the Christians, and they call them infidels. As their tradition demands, they must come and eliminate Christians and then call them infidels. The list continues to go. And let me see which year will come up again. This is 2025. We have this 2024. We have this over 200 were massacred. I've showed this one already. This one is 2025. They have escalated everywhere. This is 2011. I have showed this one. Let me see this one. This one is 2025 warning. 2025 warning again. There have been series of 2025 warning. Okay, this is 2011 that happened. Okay, this is 2015. Let me bring 2015. 2015, there is a publication by Euronews. France 24 News. Boko Haram make deadly Christmas Day attack on Nigerian village. At least 14 people were killed and several others injured by Boko Haram gunmen in a Christian Day attack in a village in northeastern Nigeria. Vigilantes said Saturday. Where did this one happen and in which village? This happened in Borno. In Borno. And as all this happened, I want to ask a very simple question. Who came to the aid of Christians? Who came to defend the Christians? Who came to talk for the Christians? Nobody. And then, recently you saw over how much? Over 330 something babies that were in school were kidnapped. And then the whole world watched. And everyone pleaded Nigeria and said, oh, Nigerian government, go and bring out these children that you kidnapped to do business with the terrorist group that you have. Here it is. What do you see on the screen? So this is how these 315 would have just been wiped out like that. Had it been that we have not gone to the US Congress and established a case already, this is how these 315 that were kidnapped in the Catholic school, this is how this one would have also gone nipped in the bud without anybody doing anything about it, without Nigerian government being accounted for anything. They will just let it go. They have killed, they have maimed, and the story goes. Some of you will just continue celebrating Christmas. After then, you enter New Year. Later, you will not make mention of or talk about the 315 babies, students, and staffs that were kidnapped in Catholic school of Niger State. Nobody would have said anything about it. You wouldn't have remembered because you will, as usual, as Nigerian custom demands, you will forget about it. You will go back to the normal life of Nigeria because that is what they do. They tend to put you in a state of normalcy when there is no normalcy. They configure your brain and make you to come back believing that everything is fine, that there is assurance when there is none. This is how the 315 would have just walked away in the hands of the terrorists. And mind you, there are over 600,000, as report confirmed after the US congressman visited Niger State, over 600,000 that are dying in IDP camps. IDP camps. Who sent them to IDP camps? The terrorists. Why did they send them to IDP camps? Why send us to IDP camps and then take over our lands? And then the government of the day don't do anything about it. They now allow the terrorists that send them to IDP camps to take over their homes and take over their communities and live peacefully and enjoy themselves without thinking of these people have a home. These people had a home. They had a land. They had identity before now. People have come to displace them. Why not go and send those people out so that the real owners of the land will go back? No, because there is a conquest agenda. They have a plan. That is why every Christmas they strike to kill over 200 as a mark on your body, as a mark and as a signal that you should start running, that they are here for conquest, that they have conquered you. The more communities they strike and then kidnap and kill in the Christmas time, and then you continue to cry and wail, the more they will now come in and then take over and claim the conquered territory and count it for them. They will raise their flag and erase that they have conquered this part, that this part is for them. And then gradually, your lands will all be going down, going down, going down, going down. Can you see what this professor wrote? Usman says, I strongly reject any plan by the defense minister to wage war on the Fulani terrorists. No, don't wage war on our Fulani terrorists. But the Fulani terrorists are eliminating Christians every day. And this man said he is the executive secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme. of Nigeria. These are the people you have in government. They place their oligarchies in government so that they can be able to checkmate any policy that the government should have brought in to eliminate their terrorist groups. So they will rise up in government and oppose it. They will oppose from this circle, oppose from this circle, and oppose from this circle. If you check, those that rose up to say, why should American government come and crush the terrorists? They are specifically all these sect of these terrorist groups, their sponsors and their guards. Those are the people that stood against and said, no, you cannot do it. It must not happen, because they don't want it to happen. They don't want you to come and eliminate their terrorist boys. So we ask a question now. The question now is that all these things and all this terrorist attack that has happened in Nigeria for years, has there been any attempt and any report where European Commission, UK country, or China or Russia takes a bold step to intervene in the Christian genocide? Has there been any? The answer is no. But it is only America that does so. Now, I want to play something so that you will understand why you owe America a lot. Yes, because you owe America a lot, and America is the only country that is standing up to speak for your freedom. And they have done something remarkable again by even being the one to explain it. There's something here. All right, let us listen to this video so that all of you will see something. Every other criminal countries in the world have not done this, but it is only America that is doing this. So check it out and then understand what this means. Okay. I allowed the video to roll and roll and roll and roll so that everybody can be able to capture everything and see what is written on the screen. Now, let me explain something. This publication is published by the US Embassy. And it says, did you know that from January to August 2025, the United States imported 33.23 million barrels of crude oil, worth $2.57 billion of the US dollars from Nigeria, representing more than half of the total African crude oil export to the United States. Now, the first thing here is that US have considered the lives of the citizens of America and also considers the lives of the citizens of Nigeria who have been massacred to be what? To be useful and place values on their lives. The same way they place values on the lives of the citizens of America who are consuming these 33.23 million barrels of crude oil. They now consider also the $2.57 billion that is given in exchange to Nigeria. And they now consider as top. They look at their scale of preference. They see that this oil that they are getting and the money that they are paying to get it and the business that they are doing, checking their scale of preference, the thing that is of greater priority should be human lives. Now, American government have placed the lives of human beings that are being massacred in Nigeria by Nigerian terrorist government and decided to sanction Nigeria on top of the business deals that they have from Nigeria, or they benefit from Nigeria, or the American citizens benefit from Nigeria, or Nigeria benefit from America. Do you now see when you place human lives to be of importance to commodities, or to business, or to negotiations, or to every other thing? This is what American government have done. I want to ask you, China have been importing and also exporting products in and out of Nigeria, taking oil and gas and every other thing. Did China for once pause to say we have to sanction Nigeria because of the massacre of Christians? China did not do it. Russia also having bilateral agreement with Nigeria and do businesses. Russia have not also paused and said we have to sanction Nigeria on top of our business that we are doing with them, whether they are benefiting from us or we are benefiting from them. I have to sanction Nigeria for killing Christians. Russia have not done it. European Union, European Commission have not for once paused and say, oh, we are making 300 billion from Nigeria, or Nigeria is making from us. We are benefiting from supplies of crude oil of so numbers of barrels between January to December, or between 2021 to 2022, or 2022 to 2024. And now, because Nigeria is killing Christians, aiding and abetting the genocide of Christians, then we have to pause and sanction them. European Commission have not done it. Instead, what European Commission have done is that because of the oil and gas interest, they decided to help Nigeria to imprison Mazi Simon Ekpa. Now, what has UK done? UK have not sanctioned Nigeria or paused on anything. This is the same UK that in 1967 to 70s, they supplied weapons because of the same oil and gas interests in Nigeria so that they can slaughter all Biafrans, babies, women, and children. They slaughter because of their sole interest of oil and gas. Up till today, UK are still benefiting from this same evil. And UK are behind the collaboration of Nigeria with Kenya to the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. UK are also to the collaboration of Nigeria, European Commission to the imprisonment of Mazi Simon Ekpa. UK are also behind seeing that Nigeria continue to plague and destroy your lives while the Boko Haram terrorists continue to ravish on your blood, while the UK government continue to sit down to enjoy just the oil and gas because that is the only thing that interests them. All these countries that I have called names, that some of you will claim to see them to be the world powers. Also, Iran. Have you seen Iran? Have you seen Iran or have you seen Turkey stop for once and say they want to sanction Nigeria for the massacre of Christians and then pause their business? Or say, okay, even as we are making so much business deals with Nigeria, we have to sanction Nigeria and call them to order for the genocide they have committed on Christians? No, they don't do it. Why is America so exceptional? Why is America so exceptional? Because America is so concerned about the religious persecution of any kind. Christian genocide, any religion of any kind. As far as you are persecuting those people, America will pause their business and ask you the question. It doesn't matter how much money they are making from you. They place the life of human beings to be important to those your business. That is what America have done. Because every other country have been making billions and transacting billions with Nigeria and buying whatever product from Nigeria. And they overlook the genocide that is happening in Nigeria. But it is only America now, only America, that have decided to use their leg and kick the business investment that they are doing and then put the life of Christians that have been massacred first. They consider the lives of over 150,000 Christians that have been massacred in Nigeria, and they push their oil interests in Nigeria down. They push the oil market down. They tell everybody the lives of over 150,000 Christians that have been massacred in Nigeria is more important than the $2.5 billion deal that we are having with Nigeria. So we must sanction Nigeria for doing what? For the killing of Christians. Because it is a crime against humanity. There is something peculiar here that you should understand. Only America have done this peculiarity. Only America have come out differently. Only America have stood up to condemn the evil that is happening. Every other part of the world, they are aiding and abetting this genocide because their eyes are only fixated on how many barrels of oil, how many tons of gas are they going to take from Nigeria to benefit them, and how much business are they going to do, how many years of contract are they going to sign. That is what benefits every other countries and nations. The only country and nations, the only president that is interested in freeing your life and making sure you have a life is the American government. So, Biafran people, America is not who you have to play with. That is why our eternal leader Ojukwu said, we need to go to American Congress. Philip Evion said, we need to go to American Congress. Owazirike said, we need to go to American Congress. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, we need to go to American Congress. Mazi Simon Ekpa said, we need to go to American Congress. Okay, Matthew Kinkere said we need to go to American Congress. And he's already there in American Congress now. And it is happening in his own time. So, what are you supposed to do? Give yourself all the available chance that is on the table for you. Give yourself into it because the chance and the opportunity is there now. What we have ever longed for. Why didn't Ojukwu, Philip Effiong, Wazirike, Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa, and Nkere, why didn't all these leaders say, let us go to Russia? Why didn't all leaders say, let us go to China? Why didn't all these leaders say, let us go to UK? Because they know. Why didn't they say, let us go to Europe? Because they know that our so-called, they know that our voice cannot speak in all those other places. That those other places do not uphold freedom and free speech. What they uphold is criminality. What they uphold is barbarism. What they uphold is destruction of lives and properties. The only place that have your interests, that speaks for you when you are massacred as Christians in this world and any other religion that is being persecuted, it is American government. This is something that everybody should take home. That America came for you. God knows why he placed America there. Because I have shown you massacre of 2021. I've shown you of 2002. I've shown you of 2023, 2024, 2015, 2014, 2018, 2011, 2025 also happening. And they have given you a warning that they are coming to massacre you. No other country, no other nation, no other continent or world powers have stood up to speak for you. But all of them are benefiting from Nigerian resources and investment of all kinds, both in and out, import and export. They are benefiting from it. The only person, the only country that is standing up to speak for you, and then abandon that business, reject that business and say, no, if it is because of this business deal that we are doing with you, that makes you to overlook the dead bodies of babies, women, and children, then we have to push you to do the needful. Because the lives of these people are more important than this your crude. So, how will you compare and contrast America and all these other world criminal powers? Then you will see that those that are actually in for you to be alive are the ones that cares about your safety, your security, and wants the terrorists to be eliminated. I salute all of you, and I wish you all, yes, no voice. I muted the voice because I wanted you to watch what is on the screen. So take your time to go through the program again and understand the people that actually cares about you and wants you to be alive, so that when you see the one Nigerian is making noise in the media, telling you that you have to look for stone to stone the American government, who happens to be the only one coming to speak for you when the terrorists are killing your babies, women, and children. The message should go very far for them to understand who they should touch and who they should not. Merry Christmas to all of you, but you have to be security conscious because the terrorists have given you warnings that they are coming to kill you in your communities and in your churches. So it's not time to go and sleep and snore and forget yourself. It's time to keep watch so that you don't end up packing dead bodies in the church. Remember, all the massacre that they have carried out in the church while church services are ongoing. So they don't come to do it when you finish the church services and then go home. They do it while the church services are happening. It's a lesson for you all to wake up. Beef up your security so that you will know when the cock crows. I salute all of you and see you all tomorrow. From me, from here, is good night.
I resume my function as President of the Council. I now give the floor to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for chairing this important meeting. Thank you to our briefers, Secretary General Guterres, and ECOWAS Commission President Dr. Touré. Colleagues, as we speak, Al-Qaeda affiliated terrorists in the Sahel have paralyzed Mali with a fuel blockade. Colleagues, the situation is dire there. We see Al-Qaeda aiming to take over the entire country. The United States acknowledges the counterterrorism efforts of the Malian armed forces against these and other terrorist organizations such as ISIS, Sahel. The situation is worsening. We remained deeply concerned about the incidents of kidnapping, the incidents of hostage-taking across the Sahel as a means to finance these terrorist activities. Unfortunately, since the veto of the UN sanctions regime in 2023, it has been deeply disappointing to see Mali's security situation continue to deteriorate. That decision removed critical tools from the international community that it relied on to promote accountability and to promote stability. And the result has been an uptick, a massive surge in violence, has been a shrinking space for dialogue and growing risk for civilians across the country and across the region. The terrorist threats are not only intensifying, they are spreading, they are shifting southward, as evidenced by the terrorist attacks we've seen in Benin and Togo. But particularly, the United States is concerned and outraged by the ongoing slaughter of thousands of Christians in Nigeria by various ethnic militias in the Middle Belt, as well as terrorists like Boko Haram and ISIS West Africa in the north. It is tragic and it is unacceptable. Churches are burning, villages are being razed, thousands are killed, clergy murdered simply for wearing a cross, for being a Christian, for daring to say they worship Jesus as Christ. Just yesterday, 25 little girls were kidnapped from their school, and one school official murdered trying to protect them, from MAGA Comprehensive Girls Secondary School in Kebbi State. Colleagues, this is happening. It's undeniable, and it's unacceptable. The United States condemns these attacks in the strongest terms, and it demands accountability. And as President Trump has made clear, we will not stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria. The government of Nigeria must take immediate steps and do more to increase security, respond to early warnings, end impunity, and address the drivers of violence. And colleagues, we need to see African leadership on these matters, and we need to see a coordinated response among all countries in the region. The situation is critical. The United States will continue to work with regional partners to counter these common threats. Thank you, Mr.